Hey everyone, Emma here, also known as 8vinyllow, bringing all of you another video. Today's video is going to be another vinyl haul video. This is going to be kind of like a fall 2024 vinyl haul video. I have records here that I picked up in like early September into October, into now November, and now it's the end of November. I don't know where the time is going, but I do want to showcase some records that I pulled here. I also have some upcoming concert reviews, some album reviews coming up, so definitely stay tuned. I'm hoping that with the upcoming breaks being a teacher life type stuff, that I'm going to have a little extra time to sit down and do some of these. But this is going to be my fall 2024 vinyl haul video. It's not a giant haul, but I still have a handful of records here that I want to showcase in today's video. So I'm going to stop blabbering and we are going to jump right into it. We are going to jump right into this with a great power pop band, part of that Paisley underground scene in the 80s coming out of Los Angeles, a band that I've really been getting into. And I saw this at my local record store and I had never seen an album from this band out in the wild. And I think that could just be because I wasn't really looking before. And now, like, you know, when you fall into rabbit holes and stuff, you get so like tuned into like certain artists and you're like, wow, I haven't seen this before. It's like, no, you probably have. You just didn't know. But genuinely, I don't remember seeing this album out in the wild, and when I saw this I picked it up right away. I got a great price on this, but a great band. This is their second studio album from 1983, and that is the Plimsouls. This is their album Everywhere at Once. Now this has the song, my favorite, very commercially successful song, and the song that a lot of people attribute with this band, and it's still, right, I'm gonna be the person, I don't know if it's cool or not to like a favorite, like the popular song from a big band, but there's a reason why it's popular, you guys, and that is A Million Miles Away. I'm a million miles. All right, I'm not gonna sing anymore. Sometimes you get singing Emma every now and then in these videos, but A Million Miles Away, that is featured here on this song. Like I said, great power pop band. 1983, this album comes out. They released an album for this and a couple others later, and I do still want to pick up some Plimsouls for the collection, but when I saw this was a no-brainer for me. It is on that Geffen record label, so I will showcase that for my label people out there. But really excited to have added this in the collection. It is a really solid release by a great band. This next band is a pretty overlooked, underrated band, I would say, especially in the power pop world. If you're into power pop, you have most likely heard of this band before, but if you don't really know that genre all that well, this is probably a band that you may not be familiar with. Unless you're from like the Midwest, specifically Illinois. This is an Illinois band. You guys know I'm an Illinois girly, and I can't believe I just said that. But we're just gonna go with it. But this is a band that I really love. Their debut album from 1977 is phenomenal. It has that black and white debut album theme that was really popular. Like I think of Kiss's debut album, although that was earlier. I think that was 74. And then you have Cheap Trick's debut, which is 77. So Pez Band, that is the band, by the way, has that black and white cover on their first band. They're out of Oak Park, Illinois. So this is actually, they released 3 studio albums. I want to say this is their second studio album. Really great. A lot of people know that first record, which is just their self-titled debut, again, a black and white cover, but don't really know this release, Laughing in the Dark. This one is solid as well. I don't know if I would like take this over the debut. I think that the debut, I think that you can't touch it. It's really great release. But this is a really excellent album by the band. Great power pop, catchy melodies, your hooks, your punch that you want. This definitely has it. So Laughing in the Dark. Now this is another one of those scenarios, and again, it's like, was I looking for it before? I don't really know, but I don't really see this one out in the wild as much, obviously as much as their debut. And then again, they have a third studio album. Off the top of my head, I can't think of what it is called, but really great release. I'm the One. I'm just looking at the track listing. I'm the One's great. Gimme Gimme's really good. That's on side 2. So I highly recommend checking out Pez Band. If you are not familiar with them, check out their debut, check out this album. You can usually get these albums fairly cheap, within the $5 to $10 range, depending on condition. They are not expensive records, and it's really, really enjoyable, fun, great music. So highly recommend Pez Band, Laughing in the Dark. I love that cover. That's so creepy. I don't know what's going on there. Look at this. Okay, you got this guy that's like, I don't know what's happening, but then you got this guy who's in a totally different world. Anyway, all right. This next album that I picked up was the only Rocktober release that I grabbed. The Rocktober list, in my opinion, this year, I thought was very good. However, I already had some of those records, or maybe I'll pick up some of the other ones that I was kind of eyeing a little bit later. But overall, I thought the Rocktober releases were excellent. But this was a release. This is like when they announced the list, I was like, I am 100% grabbing this. This is a band that I have really started to dig into, I would say, over the last handful of years, mostly thanks to John at the Digital Gramophone. He has gotten me into so many different artists and bands that I have absolutely grown to love. So shout out to him. Go check out John's channel if you aren't familiar. I'm sure you are, but if not, go check him out down below. Go give him a sub. But this is a band I've really started to get into over the last couple of years, and this album by them is in my top for sure. And if you love this band, I'm sure this is a top album for you as well. Up there with Yankee Hotel Foxtrot, up there with A Ghost is Born, up there with Being There, and so on. And of course, I'm talking about the Rocktober 25th anniversary reissue release of Summer Teeth by Wilco. This one, it has the hype sticker on here, which I love, the Rocktober hype sticker, so I keep the shrink on for that. But it includes Shot in the Arm, Via Chicago, I'm Always in Love. This is such a great album. I'm trying to see here if it came with any special inserts. It did not, but great release by Rocktober. I was so excited when they announced that. And it did come on this 25th anniversary limited kind of blue. You can't really, oh, it is opaque. I thought I saw a little kind of cloudy marble in there, but it is just an opaque blue vinyl, really beautiful blue to complement the blue on the cover. So very excited to add this release to the collection. This next pickup is a rather obscure release. I knew nothing about this when I saw it at the store and when I brought it home. Like, I literally knew nothing. I just saw the hype sticker. And what was really, I can't remember, maybe I was going and looking for the Plimsoll. So I was in the P section. And I was kind of, you know, digging through, and sometimes I move fast because there are albums that I've seen before, and that's what I look like going through like the Elvis section or the Beatles section. Sorry, Beatles and Elvis people. Love them. Love the Beatles, love Elvis, but you know you're doing that too. Anyway, so I was in the P's, I think it was for the Plimsolls, and the hype sticker, which was a lime green, you'll see here in a second, caught my eye because I saw Alex Chilton and Chris Bell and Big Star. But it wasn't a Big Star release, and it's in the P's. So I'm like, okay, what is this? And so it piqued my interest. It was 15 bucks. I ended up bringing it home and doing some research on this. And this is a really fascinating release. I don't know why my local record store had this, is kind of out of their wheelhouse. It was like a used record, so someone probably traded it in. It was just really bizarre, but really, really cool. And this is kind of considered to be a lost record, part of the underground Memphis scene of the 70s, where of course Big Star emerged from the Ardent Studios thing. It's almost in a way kind of storybook in the sense, right? Like Big Star never got their due during their time, and then eventually became a huge band with a cult following and artists and bands that evolved because of their love of Big Star. But this is another one of those kind of just lost bands from that same scene, that Memphis scene of the mid 70s. And this is pre and then history, and that's a name. But okay, so I knew nothing about this, and so it says this was produced by John Tiven and Chris Bell, and John Tiven and Tommy Hone out of that Memphis scene, and I think that's how you pronounce that name. They were like studio musicians. They were within that whole scene, and I'm gonna keep saying that as Big Star was evolving. They also did work on Big Star's third, but then they also basically created this like studio sessions release that never got a proper release actually until 2016. So this was recorded in 1975, 1976, but didn't come out until this official release from 2016. So just really, really bizarre. But it says recorded at Arden Studios in Memphis, Tennessee between September 1975 and July of 1976. And it does, and that's where the hype sticker comes in here, right? It does have this Chris Bell, Alex Chilton connection. You know, they bounced around in those studios all the time, kind of messing with each other and the projects that were going on. But I think that, like, of course, right, it was produced by Chris Bell, but I think like Alex Chilton also either sang vocals or played something on here. Anyway, so I'm gonna read the hype sticker real quickly. So it says featuring, I can't with that name, featuring Chris Bell and Alex Chilton of Big Star, joining Memphis legends Tommy Hone and John Tiven. And then it says, though unlikely, ill-fated and ill-named from the start, the music put together by a sort of sub-supergroup of fanzine scribes and ardent apprentices, forms as an important chapter to the post-Big Star pop story as the Scruffs or Chris Bell's solo sessions, Alex Chilton's last gasp before falling off the pop wagon forever. And then it says, is the final waxing silver of the pre-punk Big Star magic, nearly invisible in New York City's neon nighttime sky. I will say, this album is really, really good. This album is excellent. These recordings, these songs, these versions on here, kick ass. So I don't know if you can still pick this up. You would have to do a little bit of research on that. I'm sure you can find copies floating around, but I highly recommend checking this out if you are a huge kind of power pop, mid 70s rock and roll, that Memphis scene. If you like Big Star, you are really going to like this record. It's kind of like, and I think I read in a review somewhere, and it's so true, it's kind of like Big Star meets like Bon Scott, and Bon Scott sings in Big Star. That's literally what you're getting here. So it's like that Big Star pop, power pop magic, but with that like punch, like a big rock punch, punk rock punch to it. So really great release. Again, highly recommend. By History. And real quickly show the label. All right, this next album that I picked up is a solo release by an individual who I've really been getting into recently because of his work primarily with the Debs, but then also seeing him play with the Big Star Quintet. I actually picked this record up along with the Prehistory and the Plimsoll, so very kind of power pop-esque, which I just am in general, but especially at this store, it was just a good day to be a power pop fan. But the solo album, this is Chris Stamey's release, It's Alright. This came out in 1987. I believe this was his second release, solo release, that he ended up putting out. This did not gain the success that he wanted. Actually, it was kind of a flop, and then I think that he gets dropped by like A&M right after that, so that's not good. However, this is actually a really great album. I enjoy this album. It has a song, Cara Lee, on here, which kicks this off, and I think it's very, very good. When We're Alone is excellent. It's Alright. I'm a huge fan of Chris Stamey. I think that he is a wonderful songwriter and performer and musician, and this album definitely highlights that. So it is unfortunate that it didn't get the praise, I guess, that it should have. However, for the music consumer in me, I actually really enjoyed this release. So Chris Stamey, It's Alright, and I will show you the label. There's the A&M upside down. I don't know. Okay. All right. Speaking of the Debs, I just recorded a video a couple weeks ago sharing my experience seeing the Debs on their reunion tour. Great power pop band, and a band that I just absolutely love right now. And I showed the newest reissue of their debut album, Stands for Decibels, which is basically kind of where the idea of the reunion tour came from. It was put out by Propeller Sound Recordings, and they did just a wonderful job with that reissue and remaster. And a couple months ago, they announced the reissue, first US release of their second album, their most commercially successful album, I would say, even though it didn't get a US release, but that is Repercussion. And so I pre-ordered right away. I got the web exclusive colored vinyl, which I'll showcase here in a second, but I'm so excited about this. Such a great record. Okay, anyway, so excited to finally have this in the collection. This is Repercussion by the Debs. This whole album, same with their debut. I'm obsessed with this band because there is not a bad song on these albums. So real quickly, let me read the hype sticker. And again, this is the limited edition, web exclusive, blue with yellow sunrise colored vinyl, they say, that matches this cover very, very nicely. But it says 2024 remastered edition, first ever US pressing. Repercussion is essential listening. It is necessary. It is pure and magnificent. It is a triumph. Listen to it and absorb it. Show enough, like 100%, 100%. Nothing else to say about that. I'm just gonna read off the track listing in here because this album deserves it. So Living a Lie, We Were Happy There. We Were Happy There is such a great song. That was so good live. Happenstance, one of my favorite songs off of this album, and by the Debs, so good. From a Window to a Screen, Amplifier, what a classic. Ask for Jill, another classic. Take this out here. I Feel Good Today, Storm Warning, Up and Downs. In Spain, they played that during the encore, I believe, which was really cool to hear. Nothing Is Wrong. And then, of course, big hit off of here, same with Ask for Jill and Amplifier, but the big hit off of here, Neverland by the Debs. And it was never... Anyway, you got enough singing, Emma, for today. But here is the album, and then there is an insert, a nod to an alternate cover. And that wraps up my 2024 fall vinyl haul, vinyl pickups video. As always, let me know down in the comments what you thought about some of these pickups. If you have some of these records, love some of these records, aren't familiar, gonna check them out, whatever it is. I always love talking music with all of you. And that is all I have for this video. As we are coming up to Thanksgiving here, I just want to say thank you and show gratitude and appreciation for everyone that takes their time to write comments, to watch these videos, to support this little YouTube thing, talking into a camera thing that I do every now and then because it's fun and it feels good and it warms my heart. I've met so many wonderful people, whether they are, they create videos themselves and they're part of the vinyl community, whether it's just through comments. I've met so many wonderful people that I am so unbelievably thankful for to have in my life. So again, I just want to say thank you to everyone out there for all of the love that you have given me in this silly little channel over the last 5+ years. I love you guys. So that is all for this video, everybody. I will be back for another video. I hope that all of you are doing well. Have a great Thanksgiving holiday, and I will see you all for my next video. Bye, guys.